Okay guys, I was making this video a minute ago, but honestly, it's just going to be better if I make it again. So, what you're seeing right here is the Bitcoin chart from early January to the current day. And it began in early January at about $800, and you can see it's gone all the way up to $1,300. So what we're going to talk about right now are the trend lines inside of this graph and how two distinct trend lines come together, which to me is an indicator to take profit. So the first thing we're going to do here is establish where the main buy support is as it corresponds to this trend. So what we do is we find the lowest point here and we draw a line that connects the lowest points right here. But we're going to notice something. If we account for the correction right here, this doesn't seem to correspond. It goes all the way out this way, there's no bottoms here. But I'm going to draw this out as far as my computer will allow me to, so about to here. Okay? That is the most bottom of the current bull trend. Now we're going to do the most top, if that's even a term. So we're going to start at the peak of the very first little bull rush, which was right here. We're going to draw our line as it corresponds to the peaks. And let's just take that out about as far as we can go. Now, if you were doing a short analysis of Bitcoin, and you were going to bank that Bitcoin was going to remain bullish on this trend, you would try to pick your buys in somewhere in, let's say, maybe like that area would be a good place to buy in. Somewhere in there to make sure you catch the lows, and then subsequently selling at the high points. Okay, it's not too hard to understand. But to get into a little more depth with this, we have to take into account that inside of this main bull trend, there are actually two distinct trends going on. So notice around here, about February the 10th, there is a major correction. And that correction caused Bitcoin to change a little bit. If you notice, the second bull rush after the correction is more rapid than the first one. Not by much, but enough that it makes me want to draw some more lines. So let's start with the bottom of the correction and go through the low points of the recent action, which would be, I'm kind of drawing that a wee bit low. I don't like to factor in like very short-term trades where things go down for all of 10 minutes. I want to. Okay, but you get the idea here, and let's just take this line up and out as far as the graph allows. Okay, that's your low point of the newest bull trend right there. If I could actually make it stick. All right then. That's good. Now these things don't need to be absolutely perfect. And now what we're going to do is trace a line as it corresponds to the high points of the new bull trend, which, as you can see, take it in this direction. Okay. Now, why does this to me indicate that it might be time to sell? Well, the biggest issue I see is that both bull trends here that we've established by connecting the dots here, the price, right now as it stands, is at the intersection of the top of two recognized bull trends. And since Bitcoin is in uncharted territory right now, there's no other past high point of any consequence to give us reference as to where this is going to go. Now, a lot of hopeful people in the Bitcoin world see this recent increase as, okay, now for example, just to draw the hypothetical lines, we will have a correction that effectively breaks the recent bull trend and comes down like to this area right here, for example, and starts to test the lower point of the sell pressure, which would not surprise me at all. the main thought here, that's not what I'm trying to draw. The main thought is that after it comes down and touches that, you'll see the subsequent increase back up, followed by the the further pump action. But of course, that is all speculative and contingent on Bitcoin increasing in popularity and so on, which I think it will. Now, if you are a very, very short-term trader, I mean, we're talking day to day, I would pay much closer attention to this little trend right here, meaning that a good buy point would be, say, 1225, and then trying to quickly sell as it came up to touch the top. But I would be really, really concerned with this strategy, because I look at this and I see that both of these bull trends are meeting right here, and that is a lot of sell pressure. Another indicator that I don't like is to really describe this, I want to take you guys over to Poloniex, because we need to get how's it look on the screen there? Okay, I'm gonna zoom that out a bit so you guys can see it better. Let's go to the price of Bitcoin, and let's look at just the past month. Okay, now this is so to kind of put it in the visual perspective, this is more of a 2-month graph, so this is just spread out a bit. But what I'm seeing though is, this is a little silly, but you can see them both, and this is important, that if we were going to break the sell resistance of the main bull trend of this recent bull rush, if we're going to break that sell pressure, that's going to happen around 1290. And if we were to break that, then we could be firmly on the new trend, which is established here, or we could be hypothetically in another trend which is even more bullish. But seeing that Bitcoin came up and reached just about 1300 in some of these moments here, almost 13, high 1290s, and it subsequently corrected to, well, let's get a better look at this. Let's look at it over the last 4 days. Let's look at it on the 15-minute charts. Notice this right here. That's 1236. Okay? This is very, very important, because if we just take it back to here, I know this is not easy to see on the computer screen, so you're going to have to trust me. But right here, 1230 would be just a little bit above where that main buy support line is. If we can get that traction at that point, it is a good indicator that Bitcoin is going to continue on this rush. Here's my concern, is that, and I'm just going to bring out my trusty little pencil pointer now, is that while Bitcoin has the established buy support at this area, the sell pressure from the original bull trend has yet to yield. And so the price of which Bitcoin will fluctuate will just get smaller and smaller up through this little V, this little triangle kind of shape right here, No technical terms in my videos. And that's going to necessitate one of two things, because people hate that kind of stuff. So we're either going to see Bitcoin break through the sell pressure and continue up, which is what everybody wants, or we're going to see it take a bit of a correction down. Now, I think that it is quite likely that we'll see a correction into the 1100s, possibly the 1090s, simply because of how quickly Bitcoin has gone up in the last like 6 months. So to really demonstrate that, let's take it to the 1-day chart, and if my internet connection could do me any justice, we're going back about 6 months here, okay? That is very, very fast. And although Bitcoin, in my opinion, will remain very, very bullish for a year-long hold, can't you just imagine this kind of inky, you know what I mean? Kind of like it went, whoa! But what's funny about this is on this graph, we have yet to see like the ridiculous 1-day pump. You know what I mean? The ridiculous 1-day Bitcoin pump that accompanies every ridiculous Bitcoin pump. Okay, so right here, June, what do you got? 1 day, we open it like what? $690 something, and then by the next couple days, we're almost at $800, right? This one right here, major pump action, what, 1040 to 1160. When I see Bitcoin move $150 in one day, that's when the scare of a correction. That's when you better get those stop orders ready and all that mess. But right now, I think Bitcoin's going to do one of these. Follow my cursor. Wee. Okay, that's all I got.